A refinance can look like free money. In this example, your principal and interest mortgage payment falls by about $312, but the refinance costs $8,000 up front. So for the first 25 months, you are not ahead. You are just slowly earning back the out-of-pocket cost of the deal. The refinance only becomes profitable when the green savings line crosses the red closing cost line, and that crossing happens around month 26. If you move, sell, or refinance again before then, the math never gets a chance to work. A refinance is not a coupon code. It is a new mortgage that pays off your existing mortgage. Sometimes the goal is a lower interest rate. Sometimes it is a shorter term. Sometimes it is moving from an adjustable rate to a fixed rate. And sometimes it is a cash-out refinance, where the borrower adds debt to pull cash from home equity. This video is about the cleanest version, a rate and term refinance designed to lower the interest rate and monthly payment without taking extra cash out. We need 3 inputs. First, the new rate. Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey showed a 30-year fixed rate average of 6.30% on April 30, 2026. That is a transparent benchmark from purchase applications, not a guaranteed refinance quote for every borrower. Second, the cost. Fannie Mae says refinancing typically costs between 2% and 5% of the amount of the new loan. In this base case, the $8,000 cost is assumed to be paid up front, not rolled into the new balance. Third, the clock. The math only works if the mortgage stays alive long enough. NAR's 2025 profile shows sellers had owned their home for a median of 11 years before selling. But a median is not your plan. If your personal clock is shorter than the break-even timeline, the refinance can fail even if the rate is lower. Here is the entire payment engine. Monthly payment equals loan balance times the monthly interest rate, divided by 1 minus 1 plus that monthly rate to the negative number of payments. With a $400,000 balance at 7.50% and 27 years remaining, the principal and interest payment is about $2,882.94. Refinance the same balance to 6.30% while keeping the same 27-year payoff schedule, and the new payment is about $2,571.37. The monthly difference is $311.57. Now divide the $8,000 upfront cost by the $311.57 monthly principal and interest savings. The result is 25.7 months. In practical terms, month 26. If the loan survives to month 36, the simple cash flow gain is about $3,216. If it survives to 5 years, the simple gain is about $10,694. But if the loan ends at month 24, the borrower is still about $522 behind. That is why refinancing is not just about the rate. It is about the rate, the cost, and the time the loan stays alive. This is where the rule of thumb breaks. A lower rate is not automatically enough. With the same $400,000 balance and $8,000 of closing costs, a quarter-point rate drop takes roughly 121 months to break even. A half-point drop takes about 61 months. Our 1.20 percentage point drop takes about 26 months, and a 2-point drop takes about 16 months. The bigger the savings and the lower the costs, the faster the payback. But the table also shows the opposite. High costs can destroy a small rate improvement. There is a hidden trap. Monthly payment can fall for 2 reasons. It can fall because the interest rate is lower, or it can fall because the loan has been stretched back out. Imagine a borrower with a 7.00% mortgage and 27 years left. Refinancing to 6.30% for a fresh 30 years drops the payment by about $275 and creates a 29-month cash flow break-even. But after 10 years, the new 30-year loan balance is about $9,723 higher than the old loan would have been. The payment is lower, but equity builds more slowly. That does not mean term reset is always bad. It can improve liquidity. But it is not the same as pure savings. A no-closing cost refinance is usually not costless. CFPB explains that the costs are often paid through a lender credit tied to a higher interest rate or rolled into the loan through a higher loan balance. In our model, compare a paid cost refinance at 6.30% against a no upfront cost offer at 6.50%. The lower rate version saves about $50.85 more per month. But paying $8,000 to get that lower rate takes about 157 months to recover, relative to the higher rate no-cost offer. For a short holding period, the no-cost structure can be rational. For a long holding period, the lower rate may win. The math depends on the clock. Before trusting any refinance math, compare the actual loan estimate. CFPB says the loan estimate includes the estimated interest rate, monthly payment, and total closing costs, and the form is standardized across lenders. Also compare APR, because APR includes interest plus fees over the loan term. But APR is a full-term comparison tool, so do not let it replace the holding period math if you may move, sell, or refinance early. Taxes can matter too, but they do not magically erase the closing cost. IRS. Publication 936 says points paid to refinance a mortgage are generally not deductible in full in the year paid. They are usually spread over the life of the loan, and many service charges are not deductible as points. Any tax benefit also depends on itemizing, deduction limits, and how the proceeds are used. So the clean model is not pretending taxes do not exist. It is saying, first get the base economics right, then layer in taxes carefully. So the refinance decision is not, is the new rate lower? The decision is, how much does it cost? How much does it save per month? And will the loan survive long enough to cross break even? The simplest test is upfront closing costs divided by monthly principal and interest savings. But the better test also checks whether you are resetting the term, rolling costs into the balance, paying points, changing taxes, or comparing a no-cost loan against a lower-rate paid-cost loan. If costs are financed, rerun the model with the larger loan balance. Refinancing can be mathematically powerful. It can also be a loss disguised as a lower payment. The green line has to cross zero before the clock stops. That is the break-even math.